G'day, Snappers, and welcome to the Sunday Snap, coming to you through the SC Ballers feed. This is the podcast where we give our snap reactions to the NRL SuperCoach round that was. My name's Jono, coach of the Halfspeens. Tubes has unfortunately gone down with a case of bad start to the run-home challenge-itis. So with me to talk about all the big news coming out of round 20 after a very late call-up is the coach of the Terrace crew, Matt. How you going, mate?
Jono, mate, what's going on here? I thought this was... did you say this is the NRL SuperCoach Sunday Snap?
NRL Sunday Snap, you might have heard of it.
Mate, I don't play NRL SuperCoach anymore. I don't know what you're talking about. I've got my Swanee hoodie on for those watching on YouTube. I'm an AFL SuperCoach fanatic now. I think that despite not playing that game all year, I think I'm now better placed in that than I am in NRL SuperCoach. I've butted up, mate. Tubes has got some migraine or something. I don't know. Like you said, run home-itis. He's to be fair, he's had a few tough carries this year. Tubes, it's been a big year for Tubes. He's done well, and yeah, sub 1,000 for him. So look, it's not been my best week, and I've fallen well down outside of the top 10 now, which is frustrating because I didn't own Dylan Edwards, and yeah, that's all right. We'll push on, and looking forward to rounding the roundup, so to speak, tonight with you.
Yeah, it's going to be a flatter podcast than usual, isn't it, Matt? Because neither of us are...
No. I'm coming off I'm Nathan Brown. I'm backfence Brown in it.
All right. I like it. And just like Nathan Brown, it probably ended with you getting smashed as you run into the line. But yeah, I also didn't own Dylan Edwards, and he played against the team I support, the Rabbitohs. Jeez, that was a tough watch, watching the Rabbitohs get dusted, watching Dylan Edwards absolutely kill it.
I didn't watch it, thankfully. I was at Nikki Glazer comedy show in Melbourne, and very, very funny lady. Well worth going, and it meant that I didn't have to watch Dylan Edwards. I checked the score at half time, so as not to be rude whilst being at the show, and he was on 87. So I'm like, okay, it's not great. and then I checked again at full time, and he was on 170. So yeah, I didn't realise he had 170 in him, and I wish I'd got him. I stuffed up last week, which meant I couldn't. But yeah, much more enjoyable night at Nikki Glazer than sitting at home watching that, I can tell you for sure.
100%. And we usually trying to give a little bit of a rundown as to where par would be. It's hard to know because there's different levels of par. There's par for if you captain Dylan Edwards, there's par for if you own Dylan Edwards, and then there's a par for everyone else. But it's huge variance this week. We have some people which we'll talk about soon in the Run Home Challenge with monster scores. Then there's the other spectrum with people like Tubes and C-Mac are in the 900s. There's yourself and me, like you are sitting on 1139 pre-updates. I'm 1206, just in that kind of middle zone. Where do you think it's going to all land?
Mate, you got to know what par is, you got to have the app on your phone, and mine's well and truly deleted. Didn't make it home after Friday night, basically. I don't know. To be honest, I do have the app still. I'll confirm that, but I haven't looked at it. I looked at my draft team. I got a winning draft, so that was good. But no, mate, I got no idea. I'm tipping. I've seen plenty of 1400s and whatnot, and even in the Run Home Challenge, there have been some massive scores, 1500s in the Run Home Challenge.
There's 4 teams who've gone 1500 plus, and the current leader pre-update still could change. But we're currently looking at Knick Knack Paddywhack, spelt as in like Owen Paddy. I appreciate that pun name. He's currently in the lead with 1509 points. Huge monster score. Obviously owned Edwards, captained him, and has had a lot of other things go right as well. So well done, Knick Knack Paddywhack. Let's see if he's still in the lead when those updates finalise tomorrow.
Mate, let's see if he's still in the lead tomorrow, because it's not too late. If you've had a good week, get and jump in there. It doesn't close. It's the Run Home Challenge loophole. It's open until tomorrow at lockout, and so still plenty of time to get in. We're just shy of 2,000 players in there. It'd be great to get 2K in. And even if you haven't had a good round, jump in there anyway, because there's weekly packs to be won. We've built a fantastic community over here at ballr, and this is kind of the peak of the season, the Run Home Challenge. So, yeah, well done, Knick Knack Paddywhack, closely followed by St. Gutho's Men and Cole's crew, all gone 1507, 1508, 1509. So massive scores. Far out what I wouldn't buy for one of those scores. I'd probably pay 7K for one of those scores, Jono, to be honest. But yeah, let's make sure you head to ballr.live, follow the links if you haven't already. I'm sure, Jono, though, most of the snappers are already in there.
Yeah, I'd imagine the snappers are in there. I imagine they're using the player statistics tables with all the unique things like base plus power, 3-round average, 5-round average. A lot of good stuff there for people to sink their teeth into. Matt, just before we get into the proper rundown of the weekend, the watch along we did on Thursday night, that was a lot of fun as well. And one of the things I'm loving about the watch along is there's just a good little steady community of people coming along each week, watching the footy with us, and it's a lot of fun.
Heaps of fun. I'm loving it. I've been on every week so far. I'm buttering up again this week. We got the physio back this week, who I thought he was a little bit nervous on debut. It took him a while to settle in, but I'm sure he'll get into his work on second up this Thursday. And even whispers of Aman and Aman's hair turning
Oof.
up. So like a real heavy hitter one this week, Jono. You're back. You're back at the day job, so we'll give you a spell.
Thanks, mate.
Yep. But yeah, it's gonna be good. Looking forward to a huge game too, Roosters Storm. And I've already just like when you thought the bad news couldn't get any worse this weekend, Jono. I just read before Bellamy said that they're gonna probably give Munster a rest next week. So what a beauty.
I didn't need to hear that. Are you stitching me up, or did that actually happen?
I swear to God, they're not planning. He said he hasn't told him yet, but he's planning to arrest him.
I hope Munster says no.
He could say no. He could say no.
All right. Well, normally we start the show with the rage trades. What we do is sometimes in the Sunday Snap is when there's so much carnage, we get rid of rage trade and we bring in Carnage Corner.
Are you little?
So, Matt, I'm going to give a little bit of a rundown of some of the key injuries that occurred either during the round this weekend or in some cases just before the round started. So this is what's happened. We've had Latrell Mitchell now confirmed to be out for the season. Valentine Holmes out for the season. Keon Kaloamatangi out for the season. And can I just say, you need to look at which of your players are playing against Souths and you need to absolutely load up whenever it happens because they are done. Like it is going to be a bloodbath week in, week out against them. So keep that in mind. We have Tino, who today's game, they're hopeful for a bone bruise and not a sprain, but he had a knee clash. They're probably going to send him for scans. If it's a bone bruise, he might be back next week. If it's some kind of a sprain, he could be out for 4 weeks. We had Brian To'o, who had a knee clash as well, but he's also going to go for scans to check the severity. We had Britton Nickera and Billy Smith, who both failed early HIAs and are going to miss a week. A lesser-owned pod, Sione Finau from the Dragons, had a dislocated shoulder. And then, not really Supercoach relevant, but Satili Tupanua had a hamstring injury in his return game from a hamstring injury. Matt, how much of that carnage that I've just gone through impacted you this weekend, and how much do you think will impact you moving forward?
The one that really stings is Tino. I could have even just handled his 15 just because I've gone so terribly that I could have just piled that on. But for him to get injured is a bit of a body blow. Keon, obviously, everyone owns. I'm probably just going to hold both of them no matter what. Like, just get through. I bought Hudson Young, so he got a 65, and that'll probably keep a few off him for next week. We'll see. But yeah, I'll have him. And then, if Tino's gone, I'm going to have to buy a second rower actually. Because I'll have Taps, Haas and May up front and I won't have enough second rowers. So yeah, that'll be annoying. I got 5 trades left, Jono, so I don't want it. I won't trade Tino. Hopefully he's back. Apparently he said it's not too bad, but we'll see.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, I mean, most of those came out before the game too, didn't they? Trell season, Val season. And yeah, Toto was a bit of a shocker for new buyers. And Nickera would be a shocker too for those who owned. He kind of just never hit any great heights. And yeah, I don't know. He'll probably, I mean, it depends how many trades you got left. You might have to hold him and just run it for a week and then get him back, yeah.
Agreed. So yeah, tough round for a lot of super coaches. Hopefully people do have a few trades left to cover or don't have all of those guys because, yeah, could be in trouble. All right, let's get into the actual round recap now, Matt. First game of the round was the one we did for the watch along. It's the Dolphins versus the Cowboys. Bit of a high-scoring, good super coach affair. The top scorer in the game was actually Connolly Lemuelu, who got the start with, what's the big fella's name? Dolphine Fuiaki. He's out with a broken thumb.
Yep.
So I had a little bit of a look at Lemuelu to see if he could be a pod. He's only got 6 owners in the top 10% at the moment. His 120 points came with 2 try assists. He's scoring at 1 point per minute this year. I think that's partly, in fact, because he's been coming off to the bench and sometimes playing through the middle as well, which boosts the PPM. I don't think he's going to be a pot option though, Matt, because Fini Fuiaki is allegedly only gone till round 24. What do you make of that?
Still 3 games away.
They got the bye next week.
Oh, they got the bye, yeah. Okay. Yeah, nah, probably not. Then I love Finney. I love Lemuel. I think he's a great player. I don't know why he's not starting, getting 80 minutes every week.
Agreed.
Finney Fuiaki is also good. Even though he's not super coach relevant, but he's got a lot of post contact meters, so I can see where they like him. But yeah, I love me a bit of Connolly. Yeah, it was a good game though. ICAT keeps getting it done. He just attack. I can't wait till we start showing player profiles on Baller. Because he's not one of mine because I can't ever get he needs attacking stats, and obviously the Finns have had an amazing attacking run, and he's done a great job for those who jumped on as a pod option. 1 assist and 1 try assist, 4 line assists.
Yeah, he's a freak. I think he's the most discussed player on the Sunday Snap who neither Tubes or I have ever owned or even thought about owning. Because we've talked about how good he is. Yeah, he's in only 6% of that top 10%, but he just continues to impress.
It'll be interesting to see how his career goes. Not from obviously he's going to have a wonderful NRL career because he's a great player. But from a super coach perspective, will he become super relevant?
Yes,
at some point in time. You reckon? I don't know. I'm not calling. I'm not so sure still.
I would say that he already is super relevant. He should be. He's killing it this year. Well, I mean, he at his price and the average he's got this year, you could just because people aren't jumping on because Hines and Cleary have the goal kicking basically is what's keeping him away at present, and he's still only so young. I think he's not too far away from being a big well-owned player.
He's got to keep up a ton of attacking stats, Jono, that I'm not sure is sustainable. They're not going to score 50 points every week. So yeah, I'm not saying he won't be. I'm just pondering.
Yeah. All right. Well, one who I don't think is ever on my radar is the Hammer because he had 89 with 2 tries. A few weeks ago, I think he had a high 90 score with 4 tries. He also absolutely bombed an assist to our man Herbie at one point in the game. So that score could have been even bigger. Look, Hammer's discussed every now and then as a pod, but he is one who does rely on the attacking stats way too much for me to be interested in.
Yeah, he's super pod. Just on that Herbie drop, I'm just realizing that if that was because it was actually quite bad play from Herbie. He didn't really position him properly, and that we threw it was actually a forward pass, so I don't think it would have counted anyway. But if Herbie could have just turned up there, and everyone would have looped him, and everyone was like, Dylan who? So I'm just getting a bit of PTSD. This is going to be the theme of the show, I can tell.
You're getting into a bit of butterfly effect territory. One butterfly flaps its wings and it affects everything around it. Not a fan of that movie? No.
I quite like the concept though. I'm a big believer in the concept. I just don't want to think about it, to be honest. Jonathan.
Wow. All right, that's a sign. Stop talking about the butterfly effect and get on with the pod. All right, Herbie, we mentioned, 77 points in the end. Could have been so much more. It was really disappointing. Sarko had 75 points with a try, another 24 points in goals. Well, I know, Matt, he's kind of the last of the Dolphins players that we were going to talk about. I know Danny Boy, while we were doing the watch along, said, which Dolphins are we going to kind of line up on after the bye? Do you think there's any merit in that? Do you think they can sustain this?
Yeah, they can sustain it. The real question here is Sarko a hold or a sell? And I just think it's team dependent. I think he's a fine hold to play on matchups. If you low on trades and don't need the cash, don't need to free up his cash. If you do need to free up his cash, then he's a fine sell. He's just going to struggle. They just don't really like going out to his side that often. Like with ICAT hanging out on the left and Herbie obviously, and now Lemuelu weapon out on the left as well. Like I think they're going to be a bit more left dominant. So yeah, I'd be. I mean, if he keeps kicking 19 goals a week, then you can trot him out without too many problems. But I think you can hold if you have to, and you've come this far.
It does feel like he's going to have one huge score in him this year. Like there's going to be a week where he crosses for a hat trick, he kicks a few goals, and he goes off. So I think I'd be trying to hold if I could at this point as my 6th centre wing. On to the Cowboys side of things, not a lot to talk about from them. Murray Taulangi had 92 points with a double. He's a big super pod at only 0.4% ownership.
He's Gonski, Hammy.
Oh, he got hurt in the game.
He's injured too.
Yeah, I even watched the game and completely forgot about that. Should have been part of Carnage Corner. Well, let's move on swiftly from him on to Drinky, who had 87 with a try, 2 try assists. They still just don't look right when Purdue plays 5'8". I can't wait till Clifford's back. Have we got any news on the big red dog? Is he coming back soon?
Who? Oh, Clifford the big red dog. No, I haven't heard anything, to be honest, mate. And if Drinky's your biggest problem, then you're doing pretty bloody well.
Yep. All right, let's get on to the Sharkies versus the Roosters. And the Sharkies look pretty good, I thought, Matt, even though the Roosters were fairly poor. 31 points to 18, they got him in the end. And the best player on the field, in my opinion, was Blake Brayley, who had 108 points with 2 try assists. He ended up being 4% purchase this week. He's now going to be going up 40K. So he's going to be sitting around that 700K mark, probably a touch over, a single-digit break even, I'd imagine, after his updates have come through. Yeah. I was trying to push people off him, Matt. Not that I thought he was a bad option. I just thought Harry Grant was better at 100K less, and I have to put up my hand and say I was wrong because he looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I'll put up my hand and say I was right because I did call this one. I did call
so brave. Wow, Matt.
The one thing I got right and obviously couldn't do. No, I'm not surprised. Brayley's role has looked tremendous now for a while, and well done to those who jumped on. I'm surprised he wasn't more purchased, to be honest. But yeah, the real question though now is what do you do with him? Like, if you are flush with trades, is he a priority purchase as potentially a standout option in the position? We saw Watson go low again, sub 50. So that's pretty concerning. Victor Radley did get injured though, another one to chuck on the carnage corner pile. He's gone for scans on his shoulder. So I think that helps Watson. He should get some lock minutes.
He did get lock minutes on the weekend though too, and it didn't really help. I was
at Nicky Glazer, so I didn't actually see.
Yeah, Zach. Just glazing.
Jesus Christ! If you give it a chance to watch this set, it is hilarious. Not for the faint-hearted though.
Zach Docker-Clay, he did when he came on. He didn't play anything through the middle. He played hooker. Right. Watson pushed back to that middle role. But look, even more would be better. You wouldn't hear any complaints from me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say about Brayley. I'm not going to purchase him. I just think I've got too many other fires to put out elsewhere. To me, it doesn't feel worth the trade. But if I was someone who had, say I'm a head-to-head player who didn't trade much over the buy periods, I know that one of the friends of the show, Richo, he's a head-to-head player with 13 trades left, and he owns Watson and Grant. I would look at doing one of them to Blake Brayley as a pod because not many people are going to be able to get him in. But hard when you're low.
It's a hard decision. I don't know if I'd trade either Watson or Grant. I think you've kind of made your bed there. Do you want a second hooker? Then you don't have to. I don't know. Like, that's really hard. I don't have the trades to be stuffing around, but I wish it just hasn't panned out how I've needed to this last couple of weeks. I wish I didn't have to trade at hooker last week, but I did, and now no Blake Brayley for me. This is karma for me giving Blake Brayley bit in the sheds last year after the Storm game, telling him we always used to smash Aquinas. And he's really come back to bite me now.
What about Teague Wilton, Matt? He's at 467K, 9 owners in the top 10%. He had 91 points with a try. My question to you is, how much of that came off the back of a confidence boost after he was rated the 4th highest back row in Rugby League 26? Do you think that boosted him this week?
Probably. I don't know. Like that the reviews on that game don't look too good. I'm not a gamer myself, Jono, so but that sounds good. 4th highest fatigue. He's an okay player, but I wouldn't have gone that high. He's not an option.
Matt, you said that you've had a bad couple of weeks. I think Big Ant Studios, the publishers of Rugby League 26, have probably had a worse weekend than you, I'd say.
Yeah, well, the good news is it's all online, isn't it, these days, Jono? Not like the old days we used to have to buy the CD and stick it in. You'd be sending it back. You'd be wanting your money back.
Matt,
I've seen.
I bought Rugby League 26 digitally, and it's actually worse because if it was EB Games or JB Hi-Fi, you actually can just go return it and say this game sucks. Digitally, bad luck. I actually tried. I wrote a strongly worded email and got back bad luck. Basically was the response from Sony.
But they can update it, right?
Yeah, they can. I don't know how much effort they're putting into it.
Great boomer content from me here. Let's keep going.
All right. The other shark that I want to talk about was Nico Hines, who had 77 points with a try and an assist, looking like he was their main man again, which was great. 18 points from goals and a solid score all round. The Roosters have a fair bit to touch upon, Matt. We've already spoken about Connor Watson. Angus Crichton caught my eye a little bit this week. I think he's at 590K. He was only 4% purchased in after being a pretty well-discussed Dylan Lucas replacement. He had 69 points with a try. It was a non-line break try. One thing, Matt, you spoke about on the Q&A pod with Dan was that his tackle busts have been a little bit down this year. He actually had 16 points in tackle busts this game. Do you think he's going to maybe start to get on a bit of a return to form?
He could. I like I said, I didn't see this game, so I can't really update my view on him. But yeah, I mean, he's cheap enough to have a flyer on. I'd probably prefer Hudson still if I was purchasing and I had the money. I know you were sort of pretty vocal saying that from a cost perspective, the Crichton was still the man there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's an option. I'm probably haven't seen his upside there. And like, what is this? What are they doing at half now? Is like, so Sam will stay on that left side. Surely Chad won't play again next week. I mean, that was the one highlight I did say. Chad just passing straight into touch. Made me pretty happy.
Yeah, it was a great return to Shark Park for the Chad.
That's surely the last NRL game he ever plays, from what I've read.
I don't know. I thought that in about round 4 this year, so we'll see.
Sandon apparently got pulled from Cup today.
That's
So
good. That's a good sign.
yeah,
Always a strong sign. What about Teddy? 37 points with a try. Like, that's outrageous. He was 27% captain in the top 10%. He's now going to be losing 60K with a break even over 130. One thing that's really jumping out to me, Matt, and I did watch this game fairly closely because I was watching it at my brother Cracker's house, who is a Roosters fan. So it was on, no chance of missing this one. Teddy's back to sideways Teddy at the moment. Like, Roosters aren't going direct. It's funny, they've got all their forwards back finally. They're not punching through the middle and getting off the back of it. They're doing all this sideways stuff again. And I remember, like, Teddy at Origin, he was at his worst when he was just going sideways. And that's what he's doing at the Roosters at the moment. It's kind of 3 weeks in a row now where it's been a little bit disappointing. What do you make of it?
Yeah, very disappointing. Teddy he could have had 3 sub 50s in a row if not for late. I don't want to get into a junk discussion here, Jono, but without the junk, that's 3 sub 50s in a row for Teddy. Yeah, I mean, Dylan Edwards, anybody? I mean, it's so stupid to say, and I wouldn't be going Teddy to Dylan Edwards personally, but yeah, I think you just have to back Teddy to come back into form. Who do they got the Storm this week, so it doesn't get any easier. But yeah, I mean, we got years and years and years of pedigree for Teddy, so I'm gonna back him in.
Yeah, agreed. They do look terrible at the moment, though. Maybe a big game against the Storm is what they need to fire them up a bit. Speaking of needing a return to form, Mark, he's had kind of 2 floor scores in a row now, 34 points. Matt, I think you're a Mark owner. Does this reduce your confidence in your ability to play him? Like, next week against the Storm, do you play him confidently?
Yeah, I will. I mean, no, not confidently against the Storm. He'll be a sit option, but like, this is like, if you're surprised by this, you didn't read the brochure properly. This was front and center of the brochure that Mark has a few low scores in him. So I'm not surprised. I'm annoyed. Yeah, fine, but it's always a chance of happening. You got to take the good with the bad with Marky, and you'll pop out the other side with a 70 average, hopefully.
Yeah, agreed. And look, we mentioned the concussion sneaker and Billy Smith. I think the thing that sucks for the Billy Smith owners is that it's going to reduce his ability to make all that cash. Like, he's now going to have a break even in the high 50s. He had that 100 last week. It looked like they were going to get a big last run out of him, and that has stalled that. So that sucks for them.
He's an easy sell.
Oh, 100% now. He's made his money. Get rid of him. He's making another 25K this week, even with that 8 points. So trade him in if you can. The Panthers...
Trade him out. Definitely do not trade him in.
Don't trade him in. Trade him out if you can. The Panthers versus the Rabbitohs. Look, we mentioned Dylan Edwards, 173 points, 2 tries and a try assist. Matt, you mentioned that you were at Nicky Glazer, so you may not have watched this carefully other than the highlights. He just was absolutely in everything. Like, it was unstoppable. You just knew he was going to have a big game from the first 5 minutes of this game. And they scored 5 tries. He had a hand, either scored or set up 4 of them. And it was also really concerning as well as a non-owner when they crossed for that first try and Alamotti scored the first try, and I was waiting for Alamotti to kick as a non-owner of Edwards, and then I saw Alamotti back in the huddle, and I texted you and the other boys in our Ballers contributors group just saying, oh no, Alamotti's not kicking, Edwards on. So just yeah, what a great game for the Dylan Edwards owners, 30 points in tackle busts. What a disastrous game for all the non-owners.
Yeah, there's nothing I can say that's going to make Dylan Edwards. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who are just getting all the content you can get about Dylan Edwards right now. Like,
loving it.
I know how it feels. I know it's good. I just want to hear more and more about Dylan Edwards. I'm not gonna indulge you in that, but a very big congratulations to everyone who jumped on. I will leave everyone though, Jono, with a bit of a what's called a pearl of wisdom. In SuperCoach, like, apparently you could have found out he was kicking in the warm-up. Obviously, I didn't know that. I wouldn't be able to buy him anyway. These guys, you like, especially this time of year, it's kind of and it doesn't always pay off, but these guys who can go big in good teams with good matchups, who have good roles and kick goals, and they can like really destroy you. You just cannot miss them. And Dylan Edwards firmly in that category this week. I know I'm talking with the biggest dollop of recency bias that you can fit in an ice cream bowl, but these guys you can't miss them. They can just destroy. This has destroyed my season in 80 minutes, and yeah, and I don't you've got to be ready. You've got to be Johnny on the spot for these opportunities, and I wasn't, and my team wasn't set up in such a way that I was able to. So it's all on me, and we'll be having it's going to be a big tough weekly review at Terrace Crew headquarters. I know Tubes will hate that analogy.
Yeah, he doesn't like when we pretend they're real teams. Matt, two things from me on Dylan Edwards, because I think that the people who brought him in do deserve as much Dylan Edwards chat as they can have this week. I'm going to go negative, though. Us non-owners, we are desperately wanting Cleary back next week, running that team, and goal kicking, please, would be fantastic.
Goal kicking is so required. It's not funny.
If there is anything that comes out during the week where it's somehow announced, like sometimes it does leak out from clubs who's going to kick. If it comes out that Edwards is kicking, is there any chance, Matt, he's going to be around 760K next week? He's going to have a negative 17 break even. If it was announced he was kicking next weekend, would it sway you to say he might still be a buy?
Oh God, I haven't given that a second's thought, Jono. He's going to be 760K. I would have to trade Jerome Hughes to him. They're playing the Chooks. He's goal kicking. Who are they? They're playing someone.
They got an easy run, so it is someone bad. Yeah. I can't remember who off the top of my head.
I can't get the headspace in for that right now. I imagine he'll be popular. Anyone who's just scored 170 is of course going to be very popular. They play the
Tigers.
Right, at CommBank. And then they play the Titans a week after, then the Knights. Look, if he's kicking goals, then I'm gonna have to give him some serious consideration. He's gonna have a huge baller projection. I think we said that he was gonna project up. He was actually gonna project up into the mid-90s on the weekend with that goal kicking. So yeah, that's his height. That's pretty bloody high.
I was gonna say that's one of the. I look at those projections every week. That's one of the highest. That 93.
Yeah, Cleary's the only one who sort of projects high. Cleary and Drinky obviously can project up there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's gonna be a tough one. If especially if he's kicking this week, how long's he gonna keep kicking for? How bad's Cleary's groin? We're not gonna hit anything. I just can't.
No, Panthers are tight.
So just all eyes on that warm up again next week, I think.
Well done for I think it was ended up being 34% of the top 10% who brought him in. Of that, 19% of the top 10% captain.
I don't think I'm just thinking on the spot here, John. I don't think I'm going to buy him. That's Dylan Edwards is a great player and a very good SuperCoach player, but this is by far his best SuperCoach match ever. And it's a big last week's points thing. I'm not hoping he's going to get a HIA, but I kind of need him to get a 10th minute HIA or something like that, just to give me a chance to catch up to those who do own. Because otherwise, I just don't have the trades. I've got I don't need him, and he's a indulgent purchase at this time of year for someone like me.
I'll tell you what, you said you weren't going to give those Dylan Edwards owners anything. You've given them a lot there, because that was
they're just going this sucked in, you prick, sucked in.
Yeah. You're a bit of flat Matt there, talking about Dylan Edwards.
Back for spread, mate.
Yeah, that's it. I owe an apology to Casey McLean, because, Matt, he was so bad earlier in the year when I owned Tommy Jenkins and was playing him. Tommy Jenkins, who continues to go well, by the way, had another mid-70s score this week. But Casey McLean, I actually had him as a rage trade candidate for Ivan Cleary to drop him from the team at one point. So he had 109 on the weekend with 2 tries, just for the record. Up until round 12 this year, he did not have a single assist. Since that, he's had 6 from his last 6 games. So well done to him for improving his game. I don't think he's an option at all. He's at 0.1%. Actually, I should take that back. It's not that he's not an optional. They have a great run coming up, and he does look in good form. He's a good young player, but I won't be going near him.
Yeah, huge pod option. Going to be a very good player. I'm tipping very, very Origin level.
Well, he's already played for New Zealand at 18 years old, so it's not. I don't think you're making an overly brave prediction there. He played for New Zealand last year at 18.
I might be making a pretty bold prediction for Origin if he's a kid.
Matt, one that I actually wanted to talk about a little bit, and I want to spend more time on the back rows tonight because I think with Tino potentially going down and Keon actually going down, a lot of people are going to be interested in a back rower. Scotty Sorensen is at 0.2% of the top 10%. He had 92 with an assist on the weekend. Now, the reason his price is so low is that he had limited minutes to start the year, which really reduced him. Over his last 6 games, he's been playing 70 plus minutes. He's averaging 64 now across those games. Do you think there's any merit in him as a pod option to replace these guys? We mentioned Panthers run. He can get attacking stats, Scotty Sorensen. What do you think of him?
Yep, don't mind it. The only thing with him is that his role can just fluctuate a little bit. He's also a suspension risk. He's also a big injury risk.
Yeah.
So he's older now too. He's like, I think he's 31 or 32. So yeah, he just can't always stay on the park. So you got to know what you're signing up for. He's cheap, obviously, but it's not really about that. It's more about the trade and the points. So yeah, like I don't hate it. But whether he's better than some of those other options that are sort of more proven premium types, and obviously he had a really good year a couple of years ago. I think he might have even hit like 650, 700K. So yeah, like it's pod.
It's pod. And the other thing that I'll note is that him, Yo, and IPAP haven't really played together over that period where Sorensen has played those big minute games. It's been either Yo's been out or IPAP's been out. He hasn't actually kind of had a chance to get it done with them to see what the role will look like with all of them on board. Because if IPAP goes back to the bench, which he potentially will, we don't really know what Penrith look at full strength at the moment. That could really impact his minutes too. All right, on to the Raiders versus the Eels, where the Raiders got the job done after a huge kind of final 30 minutes. A couple of pod Centurions who, one of which absolutely isn't Supercoach relevant, never will be, Sebastian Chris, 103 points with 2 assists. And son of Ricky, Jed Stewart, 103, his first Supercoach century, 103, 2 tries and an assist. And look, for those people who got him, he's now going to be going up another 70K, negative break even at 30. Well done. Zach Hosking is another well done, Matt. I think you sold him a couple of weeks ago. He's ended up with 100 points with a try, and he's actually had a bit of a return to Supercoach form after a bit of a down point. The last few weeks have been good again. What would you do with him? Like, he's just a hold right till Nicholson comes back.
Just hold him all the way through. Fifth front row, 5th 2RF. Easy peasy. I sold him to Oren Keeley accidentally.
Hey, he scored on the weekend.
He did. We actually, geez, I can't believe we didn't mention him. Yeah. Anyway, Oren, poor old Oren. No, Hoskins an easy hold until we see any sign. Did he play 80?
Yep.
Well done. Hopefully people played him. He's going to be tricky with sit starts. I don't know you can play him every week, but Canberra got a good run that you got no issue trotting him out. Especially now, he's perfect if you've got him and means you don't have to trade Keon, and you can trot out Hosking. Like, that's a great situation.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of puts a bit of duct tape over it for the time being. Matt, Hudson Young, you mentioned that I was kind of not off him, but I just thought he was potentially a little bit overpriced with the injury risk. I watched him quite closely in that game, 65 points, all in base plus power. I thought he looked pretty good. Like, he comfortably got through an 80-minute game. I was pretty impressed. After watching that weekend and seeing how he looked, I am now more interested than I was previously.
Yeah, so I bought him. So I watched most of this game as well. If I watched the game without checking the scores and you told me what to guess that he got, I would have said probably 50. Like, it didn't look like he was doing that much, but he kind of just kept racking up the base stats. And then he had a few tackle busts and offloads in there. He never looked likely to score a try, which was a bit concerning. It wasn't like earlier in the year where it was under 8s Hudson, just give me the ball and I'm just going to score. They've kind of looked like they've sort of structured their attack up a bit better now. Like, and I mean that in a positive way for a Raiders fan. But it's whether that, I'm sure that we're still going to see some good attack from Hudson. So I'm pretty happy with the purchase. All in all, I'm kind of not happy with the score. It's not unhappy though, because I don't think he'll be massively popularly purchased next week, but I think he should be.
I reckon there's a chance he will, because there's going to be a lot of Kaloa Matangi. Like, there's so many of them, and the price isn't that big between them. I think a lot of people will jump on Huddy. I don't think he'll be 24% like he is now.
Potentially, yeah.
Because I think I will after watching that on the weekend. Like, I think he'll be the one I make the move to, and I reckon there'll be plenty in the same boat. But KO Weeks ended up being purchased by 9% of the top 10%, which actually kind of surprised me. I guess he did have a big negative break even, but he pumped out a 46. No real major attacking stats in that. One of the great try-saving tackles that he pulled off on Josh Adokar, I thought it was actually a penalty try, but it wasn't called that, and it was a great try-saver. He's going up another 90K, break even to 25. I certainly wouldn't be encouraging anyone to jump on now that he's going to be up over 660K. That's a big no thank you.
No, I've never liked KO. And he did have that huge score. I did say during the week, like if you think he can keep it up, go for it. But he's not one of mine. I'm probably the last we chat about KO for a while.
Well, let's chat about a couple of Eels, boys. Not much to talk about there. Zach Lomax, 95 points with a try and a line break. I think, Matt, you and I were both in strong agreement that he's one of these guys who can really hurt you not to own, and he showed that on the weekend.
Yeah, he's SuperCoach game. His game is so SuperCoach friendly. Number one or number two behind Herbie, probably center wing for the run home. Must get in as soon as possible. I like it's so hard this time of year because I jumped on Zach a few weeks ago, and he's got some okay scores for me. But when they get up to like 70% owned up top, it's hard. Like you want them to go well, but it's kind of like, okay, well, it's not really saving me. It's not really getting me anywhere. So, it's a defensive play to bring him in, but I don't think you'll regret it.
Yeah, you're not going to be cheering on the same way that you do one of your big pods like a Nick Meaney, for example. Doesn't feel the same.
Or not cheering on as last night would have gone.
True. The last deal I think is just worthwhile mentioning because it's Charlie Geimer. We spoke about him last week. Last week he had over 80 in base plus power in an 80-minute game. He's gone 80 minutes again this week. He scored 68 points with a try, so the base plus power wasn't as good as it was previously, but he looks pretty secure in that 80-minute role. Kitioni Kortonga is now out for, I think, 4 to 6 weeks, so he's gone for a while. Job security looks good. For those people who just held him from the start of the year, you've actually ended up picking up a great little... Like, if you got Keon going down and Tino going down next week, you could play Geimer with some confidence now.
Yeah, well done. Don't buy him.
Don't buy him, but well done if you own him.
Very well done.
All right, Matt, let's get into our favourite segment on the Sunday Snap. It is Ready to Explode. Now, Matt, we've given you the week off. You were such a late call-up. You didn't have time to prep your Ready to Explode player, so I'm just going to go in with mine. But I know it's one that you actually have spoken about and almost had as a pod of the week on the Tuesday show last week. It is Jeremiah Nanai, who is 500K at the moment. He's only in 1% of that top 10%. I mentioned, Matt, that a lot of people are going to be looking for back rowers, which is why I've made him my Ready to Explode player. He had 43 points in base plus power on the weekend. We all know that he can score tries and has big attack in him. He's actually going to drop to around 480K this week, so he's losing another 20 on top of what he's currently priced at. He's going to have a break even in the 70s. I think he's a really good pot option as a Kaloa Matangi replacement. That I will be taking a big hard look at this week. Because I also, Matt, have a Tallis Duncan-sized problem in my team because if he was playing back row, not a problem, but he's in the centres now, and with South's injuries, he's staying in the centres. So I'm probably looking for 2 back rowers. So I might be looking for Hudson Young, and then I'm eyeing off either a Nanai or a Sorensen or a Crichton as the second one. What do you make of Nanai?
Yeah, I really, really like Nanai. The only issue is, are they going to keep copping some of these hammerings?
Maybe.
Nano 480K is a steal. I'm just looking at his scores. He's had a fairly inconsistent season, up and down. He had a really good run of a big ton and then another couple of 80s sort of in around 8, 9, 10. Then he hasn't really got going since then through the origin period, and that's despite scoring a few meat pies. He had one game where his injury impacted, only played 55 minutes. Yeah, look, it's tricky, Nanai. Like, you can't expect that he's going to do it, but we know that he can do it. And if you can get him on that big upswing, that's what you're hoping for. But I quite like it. I think I would prefer... I think Sorensen is going to outscore him, but I think I can rely on Nanai to be there every week and churning out nice scores. Like, he's a less risky option with a lower floor.
Matt, you spoke about the Panthers draw and how good it is over the next few weeks. The Cowboys draw is pretty tasty too. So they go Dragons, Sharks, which is pretty tough. Then they go Parramatta, Newcastle, Tigers, Broncos, then bye. So they do finish the year. So they kind of play 2 tough teams, the Sharks and the Broncos. The rest of it's pretty nice draw, really. The kind of games that Nanai could go huge. So I think he's one that should be more on the radar than what he will be.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a case for Nanai's who's going to feed him. Like we've seen, like Tommy Dearden plays on the left, Nanai's on the right. Dearden's coming across a little bit. Purdue's, whether he's got that going to strike up that combo with Purdue or not, he's a little bit too narrow for Drinky to be hitting him. So it's a little bit tricky from that perspective. But I mean, you mentioned, Jono, that I didn't have a Ready to Explode, and that's true because it's also true that I did get a very late call up to this podcast. But it's also true that I have no idea what a Ready to Explode is. So just wanted to make that clear.
It changes week to week. It's kind of a vibe check thing. So you're saying you reckon Chad Townsend was probably his best halves player he's played with that night? That was when he was at his peak, when Chad was feeding him.
I'm happy to commit to that. I don't know how that can be true. How it can be true that Nanai is at his best with Chad, and it can also be true that Chad is the worst player in NRL history.
I don't think that's true. Maybe the worst to play as many games as he's played. All right, that's enough on Jeremiah Nanai, and it's definitely enough on Chad. Let's get to the Bulldogs versus the Dragons. Lockie Galvin, 86 points with a try. A great clutch try assist late in the game and a try contribution. He was my Ready to Explode player a couple of weeks ago, Galvin, and I said in that when he gets this job, he's going to be cheap and he's the kind of guy who's so ball dominant that he's going to score well. I think that's going to ring true about Galvin. Yeah,
it hurts that he's going to outscore Jaden Campbell on the way home, doesn't it? Having bought Jaden this week. Yeah, Galvin's a great option if you've jumped on. Can you still jump on? Maybe. It's all of a sudden 5'8" is actually turned into a place where you actually want two gun 5'8s, I think. And Galvin at 400 and what's he going to be next week? 450k roughly. So yeah, I don't see why not. I still think Jaden will come good. We see flashes of it. We're just not. You got to wonder if that knee's impacting him a bit. But yeah, Galvin is an option. There's no doubt about it. Like the Dogs look better with him out there. I know they scraped home. I thought the Dragons played pretty well. But I do think that Galvin will continue to warm into that role, and the Dogs will get better. I think the narrative arc, Jono, is positive. I posted up last night that we've hit the ceiling, that the Dogs' form is going to come back, and the results. Obviously, they've got the win, and it was just great to see Flano upset.
Oh, that was very funny. Flano's carry on. I really enjoyed that actually as well.
Enjoyed it. And I don't care that he was right. It that makes it even better. Like that they were robbed. So yeah, fantastic. Great scenes.
Yeah. Stephen Crichton, this is actually one that I chucked on the run sheet mainly for Tubes because Tubes loves Crichton, and Tubes actually said that when Origin was finished, he was going to take a look at Crichton as a massive pod. He had 71 points with just a try assist on the weekend. He's got that goal kicking over Matty Burton. The Dogs definitely looked to him. Like there was a couple of times last night with the game on the line. It didn't work, but they were just giving him early ball and hoping he could produce something for him. And I think that's going to continue to be a tactic. I like Crichton as a pod. He's at 0.2% ownership in the top 10%. He's pretty fairly priced under 600k. I don't mind him, Matty. What do you think of Stephen Crichton?
Yep, agree. Great pod option. With the goal kicking, just lifts his floor because he does have a low floor without it. The Dogs have still got a friendly run. They play they play Manly, Tigers, New Zealand, and the Roosters, and then they finish tough. But I could see Crichton averaging 70 or above for sure for that run. So yeah, like that you kind of get beyond the top premium dudes at centre wing, and then there's another sort of level now. We got Toto's gone down. Hopper's obviously not sort of getting the output that we want to see at fullback. So I think someone like Crichton could be an excellent option.
Jacob Kiddaz is one who's obviously super popular. He was 15% captained during the week. I was one of them. He had 74 points with a try in the 6th minute. Only 20 points in the second half. Like on the surface of it, 74 is not a bad score. Man, in that 6th minute when he crossed, I thought, I've got this. He's going 100 plus. And it just didn't quite pan out. Like he gets 74s when he doesn't score tries.
Yeah. And he'll just keep doing it. He'll get 70 to 90 every week for you, and you'll enjoy it and sit there and you'll cop it and you'll love it.
I guess I didn't love it so much on the weekend.
I don't think he's a captain option. I don't think so. I told you that before, didn't I?
I told you that I didn't think Nick Meaney was one.
No, correct. And
I didn't tell you that. I actually thought he was a really good one this week.
No, I have a bit of a there's some word in the English language that I can't think of at the moment. That just against captaining wingers that don't goal kick.
An aversion?
An aversion. That's the word I'm looking for. I have an aversion to captaining wingers who don't goal kick. Even the best of the best, which Jacob Kiraz certainly is. It's just I just feel like there are a lot of ways that it can go wrong, and I think 74. Like I think that's fine. Like it's obviously not 174 like Dylan Edwards, but yeah, it's he's gonna continue to do well.
You know what I have an aversion to, Matt? Back rowers named Viliami Kickout who cross the try line and don't put the bloody ball down and cost themselves a try.
I've never seen a man score more tries without getting any awarded points for a try in one game. He scored about 5 times.
It was so frustrating. He's ended up on 48. Look, the only thing I'll say as a positive is that was all in base plus power in the end. And it is good to know that last week's reduced minutes, there was kind of rumours around a mystery illness. Back to 80 on the weekend. I think owners can be confident that, the reduced minutes were down to this mystery illness from last week. So, Look, whilst we're disappointed that that score was smaller than it should have been, I still think there were some big scores to come later in the year.
Yeah, him and the next. I agree. I think he'll get some good scores. You can't really buy him now.
No.
Him and his back row partner Preston Jono, who dropped to 40. I didn't realise he got so low. Those guys are completely non-options now.
You reckon Preston's a non-option at that price?
I don't think so.
He's going to be 580k. Like
I'm just worried about that right side.
Okay.
I know Galvin is there now. Is Galvin good for his side's edges? Yet to be seen. He certainly wasn't much good at the Tigers for Finu. Oh, it was Finu left. Anyway, whatever it was, he wasn't setting his right to a right second forward. Oh, he was playing more left at Tigers.
He was left with Finu, and they had a good combo.
They did, but he wasn't like. It was all right. I'm just saying it's up in the air. I wouldn't be buying Preston or kick out.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. I think Preston will be an option on some people's radars at that price, but no power stats. I do worry about the role. I'm with you.
He'll score well. It won't be like that every week. Like he'll still average 60 plus. I'm pretty sure. But I'm just as an option. I'm probably going to look elsewhere.
From the Dragon side of things, not too much I want to talk about, Matt. I mean, Gutho had 102 with 2 assists. LKT, the new king of Cogra, 41 with a line break and a try contribution. Can we move on, or do you want to talk about any of those guys at all?
Move on.
Storm versus Seagulls, so much to talk about in this game. This is a really relevant one. The Seagulls got away with this. My favourite, Matt, you've mentioned Bellamy Cam before. There was some funny Bellamy Cam moments. There was one where he stormed out of the room. You could just see his little head bopping up and down away. It was absolutely hilarious, Bellamy Cam. But
he would have run through the door. He would have run through that door. Like he might have. We couldn't see it, but he was getting out of there so quickly. I think it was it was something Meany did actually. So that made me a bit worried. But yeah, it's so good. The producers at Fox are doing a great job. Just feed me that Bellamy in the box content. You know what? You got big shout out to Bellamy's son, who's an assistant coach. Just the calmness and level-headedness that he sits there with when his dad blows up is unbelievable.
If anyone's used to it, it's his son. Like,
it's so good.
He would know. Just sit in the corner and pretend that, just sit in the corner and stay still until Dad's not angry anymore.
The punishment that kid must have gone through as a young child.
Tommy Turbo, Matt, 73 points with an assist. He's looking fit. He's looking free. He actually spoke after the game about how his body, he says he's feeling really good currently, the best it's felt in a while. He's going up another 60K, back over 600K. I know you just don't think he's an option while he's playing centre.
Oh, just thanks, Turbo. You're feeling good, are you, mate? That's nice. Glad to hear. Honestly. Can this weekend get any worse? I don't think he's an option, Jono, playing on centres, just because I've spoken about it so much. And we've seen on the weekend again in Dylan Edwards. These guys, you need these premium assets in your 2 halfbacks, your 2 fullbacks, and your flex. And at centre, Turbo is just not that guy. They won the game. He's going to get some good scores. He's a great player. I just don't think he's got the ceiling at centre. And they got a tough run. That's the main thing. I think maybe let's get through these next few games when their draw starts to open up a bit. Also, Cherry there's a rumour Cherry's done himself a mischief. Seen in a knee brace today. So we'll see what plays out there. We'll listen to the Sponge tonight. But yeah, they got Who have they got next week? I think they run into Penrith, don't they, soon? Or anyway, they got another 2 or 3 hard games. Manly. So yeah, I'm just not a. They got Dogs next week. Dogs into Roosters into Raiders. So that's a really tough draw.
Mm.
Yeah, if he was at centre wing, not 100%, I'd be all over it. I'd be here for it. He'd already be my team probably. But just locking up that fullback or flex spot, I think it's just a bit too much to ask from Thomas.
Look, the other two from the Manly perspective, Ruben Garrick, 61 points with a try. Don't want to discuss him. That's bread and butter stuff. Lehigh Hopewade, Matt, he had 53 with a try contribution as his only attacking stat. Tell you what, 3 games now with Turbo at centre and Lehigh at fullback. He's averaging around 55. It's a bit disappointing.
Little bit. I think you just got to wait on Lehigh. If you're an owner, I'd probably also wait and try not to play him if I didn't have to in these next few. And I think he's going to be a really good pod for you for 24 onwards. So they play Tigers, Finns, Dragons, and Warriors. They're really good, tasty matchups. And I think Lehigh can still score well. And I think he's too cheap to sell. So I just don't think there's anyone at centre wing sort of putting their hand up. If you have to play him, then you can play him. He's playing fullback for Manly, who are a good side, so that's fine if you have to play him. But if you can sit him, then you sit him in these tough games.
Yeah,
you can probably play him against the Roosters.
Yeah. For the Storm, they have so many SuperCoach relevant players. Xavier Coates, 105. It's his 4th 100-plus score of the year. Jerome Hughes, 76 points with an assist and 2 try contributions. I thought he very much was their main focal point this week, and the man leading him around, trying to get him back late when they were struggling. Cam Munster, 64 with an assist, and now he might actually miss next week, as you mentioned. Geez, I hope that doesn't happen. Matt, anything from those 3 that you wanted to touch upon, or do you want to talk about Harry Grant?
Coates is a great pod, but he's too expensive. So I don't think you can go near him. Unless you've got it's your last trade and you just want to roll the dice and you can afford it. Surely there are better options, but he can go those tons. They've got a tricky-ish run. I wouldn't be expecting that every week, and I'd be expect a few 20s and 30s like we'd seen in these 2 previous games mixed in. So, yeah, I don't think there's any value in his price to bring him in. I think there are better pod options. Hughes is going to be very interesting because, like I said, he's taken up he's going to be a lot of people's path to Nathan Cleary or Dylan Edwards this week. So, 76 with an assist and 2 TCs. I thought he looked good. I think 76 is a bit unlucky for him. I thought he could have scored better. Every time I was kind of looking up, it was him making the line break or him assisting the line break. So, yeah, he's not an urgent sell, but at least his price is pretty nice now if you do want to move him on. So, no issues there. Munster is a hold, even if he's out. It's just you've just a bit of you've made your bed. You're not going to move him to anyone better, so you may as well hold him. Yeah, that's those guys for me, Jono.
Sweet. Harry Grant, I think if you were an owner, you'd be so disappointed about this game on the weekend. He had 56 points, Harry Grant, and he made 58 tackles. How is that possible? He's had so many negatives in this game to make 58 tackles and that with 56 points. And you mentioned Nelson Asafa-Solomona. Harry Grant has had a pretty rare run for him this game where he's actually popped out a dummy half, crabbed across field, found a gap, scored, only for the replay to show that Nass has just elbowed the defender straight in the face. Correct call, no try, but just a gut punch for those owners.
Yeah, devastating for owners. I just don't think it's the same Harry. It doesn't mean he's not going to get some good scores. Like I said, I just don't think it's the same. He's the same proposition that he's been in previous season. I think they've, for whatever, I'm no rugby league shape expert, but I'm no rugby league guru, no. But I do think that it's a little bit different for him, and he's not running as much. That has to be clear. If 56 points and 58 tackles doesn't tell you that, then I don't know what will. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be wanting to buy Harry. I do think he's exposed to resting as well. Yeah.
Matt, Nick Meaney, 54 points, no major attacking stats. I am setting a timer for 30 seconds for you to say any thoughts you have about Nick Meaney.
I thought he looked good again. The game just didn't really pan out for him. He'd done really well in the last couple of weeks, following through on his edges on ballr and Katoa, backing them up. They didn't really hit those guys like they had been. They really, really struggled with their shape. I thought Manly defended them really well. Cooler did a great job out on the left-hand side for Manly. And Meaney tried hard. It just didn't really come off, and nothing really came off for Melbourne all night. And they scored some long-range tries, and Yeah, it just wasn't the type of night. Did I make it? Okay, yeah. That was it.
Yeah.
Anyway, bit of a shame I captained him. None of my other captain options really came off though anyway, so I'm not too disappointed. And yeah, hopefully we get one more week off out of him with perhaps hopefully missing one more on the short backup. It'd be nice.
Can I just say I was not really listening because I was very carefully watching the countdown. I was excited by it, but really enjoyed that without me choosing it my default countdown. I hope it came through on the mic. Was the Crazy Frog theme song was my default countdown ender. Eli Katoa, just again, don't really think there's anything to discuss. He's so well owned, but just want to point out that he had 42, no attacks, second worst score of the year. I don't think we'll see too many of those games from him.
Hang on, sorry. Did Tubes buy him?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to have a look at his team now because I think he bought Brian To'o instead.
Okay.
So I don't know if he did end up getting him. Geez, I hope not. Because he's been laying him all year. Imagine you bring him when he gets his second worst score.
Yeah.
Tubes pods. I'm just checking my cash league. Tubes pods. Geez, he does have some pods. He played Tommy. Tubes played Tommy Cant this week. No, Tubes did not bring in. He did not bring in Eli Katoa.
Tubes, no, it was his AE.
Oh, okay. I just saw him on the team sheet.
He did sit Brimson though.
It's a very pod team. It's a great team to look at. Tigers versus the Titans, which the Tigers got away with 1 point after a late comeback. Terrell May. Matt, we spoke about on the Tuesday pod that big boys season was over. You can't captain these big guys anymore. Too much upside. For that, I think it was around 8% captain in this week. It worked out pretty nice. He's back to 80 minutes. That 65-minute week seems to be a blip on the radar. He had a try assist for his brother Talon. Good game all round. Well done to those who captained him. I'm assuming that they weren't Dylan Edwards owners, and if so, you've done really well with your captaincy choice.
Yeah, I don't think he is a captain option. Like, I think it's really you've got to pick your spots with him. So certainly matches they can win, which isn't every match. So home to Titans, yeah, perfect. I mean, he's got 97 with a try assist in 80 minutes, so that's basically everything that can go right for him did. Obviously, he'd got a higher score than that this year, but I just think that we spoke about Jono on the what did we do on Tuesday TLT about wanting your captains to average higher, and you're just not exposing yourself to the ceiling with Terrell May. I think he was an okay captain option this week because he was in the second last game in a week where the other captains were front-loaded early in the round. So I think that that's a kind of scenario where, yes, there's actually enough here lined up that you could captain him. So well done to those who did. I don't think he's going to be a general every week. You can roll Terrell May out as your captain.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a good way to frame it. Jarrell Skelton had 95 points with a double. He's a former one of yours, I think, Matt. He's going to be up 50K. I think he's a talented player. I think he'll have Supercoach relevance again in the future. But I think
next
most
year,
people
for sure. I started with him this year, and I think he could be a start again next year. With he'll be cheap again to start. That's his first career double today. He's got a good game for it. Like good big body. If he keeps maturing, I can see myself start with him again next year. So don't go too hard, Jarrell.
Yeah, agreed. Like he's one of the ones that you don't want to see have a big, strong finish. So he's a nice price. There's a few of them going around.
Just a nice 50 base plus power to average to finish the year, and we'll be
no tries.
No tries, and we'll be right for round one.
I don't really want to talk about Taylor May, but I will just say he had 64 points with a try and 2 try contributions in his return game, and I'll move swiftly on. Adam Dewey, 56 with a line assist and the match-winning field goals, his only real attacking contributions. He played 59 minutes in his new lock role. I think he looks good in the role. He actually got through a lot more defensive work than what he ever has really previously in his career. So I think he had kind of mid-20s for tackles, not really a noted defender. You'd be a little bit let down that he's not going to be an 80-minute man.
Yeah, I think it's just about if you are owning him, what do you do? I think you probably just hold and plug.
Definitely.
Just fill a hole if you need it. I would never feel comfortable with him in my 18 particularly, though. It would be a break glass in case of an emergency style situation, but he could, like with the goal kicking. Did I see Appy kicking goals today? Is it because was he off, was he?
Yes.
Jono, I got to be honest, like this weekend of NRL after Friday night, it's really just sort of gone straight over my head, a lot of this. So apologies, but yeah, I'd probably just be a like definite not buy, but probably just hold.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, look, that's without any major attacking stats. So it's that's going to be kind of around where with that goal kicking, that's going to be his floor. Not too bad. I think you'll take it.
Yep.
for the Titans' perspective, AJ Brimson, you mentioned the Tubes didn't play him this week. He had 74 points with a try. Good tackle busting game from AJ. He's on that little pocket rocket sphere. 12 points and tackle busts. Big bad Bo Fermor, the Bo Leavers, were momentarily very happy because he had a try assist, but he still ended up with only a 63. It was really notable for me that his base plus power was down on previous weeks. How annoying is it? It happens so often that these big base plus power guys, the week they get an attacking stat, their base plus power isn't as good. It's so frustrating.
They just Keon went. It's like it was SuperCoach audition weekend after Keon and Britain went down and all these 2RFs. Tino obviously today, and none of these 2RFs have put their hand up whatsoever. Probably thankfully for me, because if they are owned, then they'd probably kill me even further. But sorry, unalive me even further. Sorry, producer Gramsy. Yeah, no, Bo. I'm going to stick with Bo as an option. I'm going to look at Bo this week, Jono. I'm thinking about becoming I'm thinking about reaching out to the Lord and becoming a true Bo lever.
Wow. I like it. I mean, he's a good own. I just hope that base plus power comes back, because when he does, it will, but it's just annoying because when he gets the try assist, you want him going 85, 90 points. So it's just a little bit disappointing.
For Foyter?
Yeah. What is going on with him? Who knows? He needs, I think, speaking of guys who are going to be cheap
for 2026.
He'll be 100% owned if he's a starting back row next year with Des gone from the club. Yeah. Matt, Jaden Campbell, you kind of mentioned about how you'd rather own Galvin than him. He has been really underwhelming of late. He had 50 points with 2 assists today. Wasn't his best goal-kicking game, just to point out as well. He only kicked 2 from 4, which cost him a few points there too. He's now going to be down to like 490K. Do you look at him like, for those people who don't own?
You have to buy.
Yeah, at that price, it's crazy.
I mean, you could go Galvin. It's him or Galvin, right? I don't know, Jono. Did you watch this game today?
This was the one game I didn't watch any of because I was driving.
So I watched a bit. I had a nap in the middle of it, which was very pleasant. Probably about 40-minute nap.
The Sunday nap instead of the Sunday snap.
Exactly. Well, no, the Sunday nap in preparation for the Sunday snap that I didn't know I had to do, but it's actually helped me out a lot. And it was very pleasant, John. I got to admit, but it felt like, for whatever reason, it was, from what I saw, it was an awful game. Like, really, really bad. Not as bad as the infamous game from a few years ago that these two teams played.
Oh, that's right.
The worst game of all time of the NRL era. But it was pretty bad. But in saying that, the stakes felt very high out there, especially for the Tigers. Very high. It was highly competitive, and both teams were having a go. And for whatever reason, it just didn't really seem to suit JC. He set up that try, and I might be way off on this. This is just a hot, flimsy take. But it just didn't feel like the type of game that suited Campbell. I think getting back on the Gold Coast in a bit of a chuck about, and we might see JC return to a bit of form.
Let's hope so, because it's been super underwhelming. I picked him up for 650K, and he just has not delivered at all. All right, on to the final game of the round was the Knights versus the Warriors. I watched this game. That ending was absolutely incredible.
I saw that too.
Leka Halasima, 64 points with one of the great match-winning tries of all time. Can I just have, last week I had my rant about junk police. Can I have a little much quicker rant this week, Matt? This stupid rule, he didn't get a line break for that try, because this stupid rule that if it's already a broken line off a kick, it doesn't count as a line break. That needs to go. Like kicks and things like that kind of situation, and off kicks, they don't count as a line break because it's a broken line. They're harder to get line breaks off than when you just get it past you by a centre. I hate that rule.
Yeah, I don't know. I can see where they're coming from. I haven't given it any thought in my whole life, but I will give it some. Well, now that you brought it to my attention, Jono.
What's your initial take? Like, how is that not a line break from Leka, where he picks up the ball, breaks the line, runs through 6 people, but because it was off a charge down, they consider
the line was broken though. Is my initial
because he smashed through it himself.
No, but it wasn't like they were a defensive line was set. He'd obviously had the kick charge down, and you don't get we give these guys a lot of stick because they make subjective calls sometimes, but from an objectiveness standpoint, there are very different situations in which a line is not set, and then a line break can or cannot be achieved off the back of a kick that's already been made. So I kind of get it from that standpoint, and I get your frustration, but I think it's just one that we gotta have to suck up.
All right, I'll move on. I won't get too far down the weeds with that one. One rant was enough last week. Aaron Clark, Matt, you and I don't own. We've been jealous non-owners for most of the year. 57 points out in 61 minutes. I'm just going to point out that is his worst score in a New Zealand Warriors jersey since Dylan Walker left the club.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty good.
Well done.
It's still 57.
Well, yeah, if you own him, you hold him. If you don't own him, he's oh god. There's all these. He's a 2RF, isn't he? Oh god.
Yeah, so exactly. He's an option.
He's just a bit too expensive, like
Yeah.
relative. Like I'd rather Hudson at that price bracket. Yeah, not for me, but yeah, I mean, like if you want your bread buttered nice and smooth, then Aaron's your man.
What about Tanner Boyd? You copped a bit of social media flack, Matt. You made your debut on the official Supercoach podcast.
For those who haven't heard.
For those who haven't heard the 16 mentions we've given it across different platforms this week. You said that you didn't like Tanner Boyd as an option. You copped flack for it. A lot of people saying you don't know what you're talking about. That was him at the Titans, different proposition at the Warriors. He's ended up with 58. I thought he had such a poor as a game managing half. His last 15 minutes were pretty diabolical. Had a shocking field goal attempt that they then got lucky, and Jackson Hastings, who wouldn't have impacted the kick, was offside. So they've now got a shot at goal. He shanked that. And then they've gone up the other end. He's kicked one dead on the full off a kickoff as well. And then they've gone up the other end. They get another chance. He misses the kick, charged down, and then Leka Halasima doesn't get a line break, but runs 50 metres and scores a try. Like, he got very lucky. He would have had a lot of criticism if they'd have lost that game.
Yeah, he had an early try assist as well.
Yeah.
My position on this does not change one little bit. You can never ever play him in your 18. If you are, you're asking for trouble.
I mean, averaging 61 and a half, and if you played in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I know. I understand that, Jono. But the point remains that he's got a very low floor and he's not a very good NRL player. So you're just going to get, there's going to be poor scores mixed in there. And anyone can score well, John. He's a goal-kicking halfback for the Warriors. Obviously, he can score well. I'm just saying you are probably going to get a lot of low scores as well because he's not very good at Supercoach and he's not very good at NRL. He got 5 scores out of 8 last year of sub 31. It's not very good. I don't care that he used to play for the Titans, Mr. YouTube commenter. He plays...
It does seem like you care a little bit.
No, I'm getting used to this. I'm getting used to this flack, John. That's okay. But I stand by my position. He's not an option.
Mr. YouTuber. Matt, we're going to finish with. I'm going to go with just mention Greg Marju, 82 with a try and an assist. You would have loved to see that in that period you held him for.
No, I actually loved that he only got 82 because it could have been 182 at one point. So
yeah.
I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, me and Greg had a toxic relationship and it just had to end. What about Gagai though, Jono?
That's I was going to finish with him because I brought in Gagai this week. Who's a bit of a late saving grace to me. He had 89 points with a try. And one thing I was so happy to see, he took back the goal kicking mid-match from Hastings. Started kicking him. He only hit one from 2. One was from the sideline and shaved the post. But, I mean, if he's keeping that goal kicking, even better. The only thing I'll say, a couple of yeah, they do. But a couple of negatives about him, other than the bye, which is a good point. He was still a bit rough with his playmaking. He actually let a couple of opportunities go begging that a better passer would have nailed, which actually hurt Newcastle a bit. He was limping heavily for the last 15 minutes. He had a bad knock, and he spent the last 15 minutes limping around the field. So we'll see what he played through it, and he still got to a full sprint a couple of times, but we'll see how that impacts him. If he comes through with that all good, Matt, he's going to be around 620K, break even to 17. Do you think he is still an option for next week, or is he too far gone, too many question marks with that bye coming up?
They play Raiders, bye, Panthers, so it doesn't get any worse than that. Yeah, I'm going to have a big think about Dane because if he's got the goal kicking, the ball projection, it's going to break the ball projections. It loves fullback Dane. Like the machine, the baller machine, it loves fullback Dane. I think he's a massive, massive, massive option. It's such a shame they got the bye. But if you had to say you get one trade at centre wing for the rest of the season, it would be him. I think at this stage for me, given I already own all those other guys, I think he's the pick of the litter, so to speak.
Yeah, I think he is a great option. I love to own him. I just hope there's nothing serious with that injury. Yeah, but him goal kicking, like he's gone 105 and 89. I suspect he's going to update nicely as well, because there were a few times where he had runs, he was busting tackles and didn't get anything for them. So we'll see. I think he'll update quite well. He's probably going to be averaging 95 at fullback after his first 2 weeks playing there. And one of those weeks was without the goal kicking. And one of the weeks he only had the goal kicking for a half. So definitely a big watch this space for Dane Gagai. In fact, let's see. I think updates have come through. He is 93. He's updated to. So that 89 is now no longer relevant. And Terrell May up to 105. Wow. Matt, Little Black Book is our final segment of the show. I do have one. I don't love it. I almost think that maybe Tubes has killed the Little Black Book segment with Owen Tolte as his one. Is it Owen Tolte? Ben Tolte, sorry. He might have killed the segment with 26-year-old up-and-comer Ben Tolte last week. But look, the one I'm just going to put on people's radars was Jethro Rinakama, the young winger from the Bulldogs. He's only 19 years old. He had 66 with a try to back up his 53 with a try and debut last week. Negative 52 break even on the bubble next week. And the man who's going to take his spot back eventually is Marcelo Montoya, who is out till round 25. Bronson Cherry's still got this groin as an ongoing issue. No real return date set for him yet. I just don't think he's the worst depth man if you want one as your 7th centre wing.
Perfect. If you need a downgrade, perfect. I don't know what else. Like, there's he looks good to me. Good player. Gonna get that if he stays on that left wing. He's on the bubble next week. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If you need the cash and you've got the trades, I think that's exactly what you want in a 7th centre winger.
Perfect. Matty, that pretty much brings us out to a close. Look, I just want to give another plug for the Run Home Challenge. Matt mentioned at the top of the show that you still have time to join. If you haven't joined,
Dylan Edwards owner, what are you doing if you're not in there? Like $7,000 on the line, and you own Dylan Edwards, and you're not in there. Absolutely mental. Please get in there. Even if you don't own Dylan Edwards, get in there because it's going to be a lot of fun, and you can win ball. Probably can't win the whole Run Home Challenge now, but you can win baller merch packs. And there's still a long way to go, Jono. 7 weeks to go. I'm not going to give up hope. I know, but we can't let Tubes give up hope. And also, we've got something to play for, because whoever loses out of the baller contributors has to grow a goatee, or in your case, shave down to a goatee for pre-season in 2026. Shiba style, young GI. Now, sorry, John, I know I've gone for a while here. I just got to do a bit of beard chat. I thought about this post because this all kind of got born on the watch along as we sort of threw to the audience as some ideas for a bet for the Run Home Challenge.
And what a great idea it was.
What a great idea. Dan can only grow a goatee, so he can't grow a beard.
Okay.
You're obviously fine. I'm fine. I've had 2 full big beards in my life. I don't think Tubes can grow a beard. I've never seen him with a beard, and I'm not convinced. I'm going to enjoy. He's obviously the very early. He's the favourite to lose this bet now, fantastically. I'm very interested to see Tubes with trying to grow this young GI goatee.
Well, when I said on the watch along, I made the comment that the Ricks boys can't grow beards. You very quickly put me back in my box and said you've had one before. You mentioned that Dan has had the goatee, the Damien Cook.
Correct.
He looks more of a cookie than a young GI, Dan, when he has a goatee. But Tubes is also, he bristled up and said he can grow a beard. So I think we're going to find out potentially soon enough.
Yeah, I hope so. This is good. He's a very short price now. Although C-Mac's got a bit of work to do. Who I have also said he had a goatee actually on during the Origin period for young GI. So.
Yeah, he seems like a man who could grow a beard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matt, what's Baller got coming up for us this week? Anything to plug?
No. Well, yeah, Run Home Challenge is obviously the main thing tomorrow. We've got a massive teamless show, and I'm 95% on the way to a big guest signing. Who it's taken me a long time to get this bloke, and I can't confirm it yet. Hopefully tomorrow. We're going to have a big name on. And then we've got the watch along Thursday with Physio and potentially Aman. So that's going to be huge as well. Can't wait for that. Roosters and Storm, big game. And, mate, I just want to get back on the SuperCoach horse back at Baller Towers tomorrow because it's been a tough weekend. But, yeah, love coming on the snap with you tonight. And yeah, plowing on for the rest of the season. Try and get back up in the top 10.
Mate, big effort coming on at late notice after a tough round. Although, I'm saying you've had a tough round, tough carry tonight. But feels a little bit like when billionaires complain about tax increases, you dropping from 6th to 50th. But still appreciate it. I know how much you were trying to push up the rankings. It would have been a gutting weekend, so thank you for jumping on. Really appreciate it.
I do love SuperCoach. I know I started this hit, but I do feel like I've backed Fence Brown this pod. And
you've done well.
We've charged through, taken a tough carry, and yeah, looking forward to it. We're looking ahead now, Jono, and still plenty of good content to come. Just get over to Baller, sign up. We've got so much fun stuff coming on, more great features dropping before the end of the season. And then we got some massive stuff coming for next season. So do not miss it. Follow us on socials and sign up at ballr.live.
Matt, before I let you send us off, I just want to quickly say you mentioned at the start, pre-pod, you texted me saying, "Quick one, please," was the exact words you sent. This is now the longest Sunday snap that we've ever had. So, Matt, anything else for us?
No, mate. Just absolute. I want to send us out on a huge high. So, you're beauty.